All right, this is Chapter 9, Section 1, The Intelligence Puzzle. Intelligence is one characteristic that sets humans apart from other life. Although other animals display intelligence, humans' capacity to adapt to changing conditions sets them apart from other animals. The human ability to think about abstract ideas such as space and time also sets us apart from all other species. Intelligence has expanded our senses, enabling us to invent microscopes and telescopes to see things too small or distant if they were to the naked eye to detect. The nature of intelligence varies. People can be very intelligent and not know how many facts about academic subjects. Sorry. So people can be very intelligent and not know many facts about academic subjects because they do not, just because they haven't studied. People can also know a great deal because they have worked hard, even if their intelligence is not particularly high. Now, exactly what is intelligence? Understanding achievement, according to psychologists, one thing intelligence is not is achievement, which refers to the knowledge and skills gained from experience. In other words, achievement focuses on things that you know and can do. Thus, achievement involves specific content such as Spanish, history, psychology, biology, art, and music. The relationship between achievement and experience is obvious. If you have spent many hours reading about the Civil War, for example, you will probably do well on a test about that time period in the U.S. And you would have gained some knowledge on the subject of the Civil War. But if you were tested on the Revolutionary War instead, which came before the Civil War, you might not do as well. And although intelligence is not the same as achievement, intelligence can provide the basis for achievement. Intelligence makes achievement possible by giving people the ability to learn. Now we know what intelligence is not, but what is it? Intelligence can be defined as the abilities to learn from experience and to think rationally and to deal effectively with others. Within that definition, psychologists have different theories about what exactly makes up intelligence. All right, theories of intelligence. Some people have very strong science or math skills. Others are talented in music and art. Still, others have the ability to get along well with other people. Are all of these abilities signs of intelligence? Is any of them? How many factors are involved in intelligence? Throughout human history, many philosophers and scientists have speculated about the answers to these questions. And the Greek philosopher Plato devoted much of his writing to examining the nature of intelligence and the human mind. And there was a French philosopher that named Pascal. He suggested that there were two types of intelligence: mathematical and intuitive. And in the 1800s, the rise of psychology as a science led to new theories of intelligence. All right, so around 1900, psychologist Charles Spearman observed that people who do well on one type of intelligence test tend to do well with others too. He suggested that general intelligence, which is labeled G, underlines all of our intellectual abilities, and the G represents the abilities to reason and to solve problems, the SATs, which break down intellectual skills into verbal, qualitative, quantitative, sorry, and writing subtests reflect more or less um, unfined factor, which some psychologists refer to as G. And at the same time, all people are better at some things than others, such as math or music or writing. And for this reason, Spearman suggested that specific or S factors account for people's specific abilities. And taken together, G and S explained Spearman's observations. So many psychologists accept this guy's two-factor theory of intelligence. One who took exception was L.L. Thorstone, a specialist in psychology testing. And in 1930s, Thurstone argued that Spearman's tests were flawed, and he put his own tests to show that instead of one general intelligence, there are 7 primary mental abilities: word fluency, verbal comprehension, spatial visualization, facility with numbers, memory, reasoning, and perceptual speed. And further testing led him to include something similar. So a couple of these, so like verbal comprehension is when I say something, you understand what I'm saying. All right, this is some confusing stuff, but we're getting through it. I understand. All right, later psychologists began to wonder whether all forms of intelligence could be measured through testing. Psychologist Howard Gardner considered a wide variety of studies and cultures to develop a new theory, and in 1983, Gardner proposed a set of 7 intelligence, which he later expanded to 9. So this guy thought that verbal linguistic intelligence, logical mathematical intelligence, visual spatial intelligence, kinesiology intelligence, that has to do with like dancers and athletes, musical rhythm, interpersonal intelligence, natural intelligence. The list goes on. So these are the 9 intelligence that this guy broke down to this theory of intelligence. He thought that people had 9 different instead of 2. And what did the other guy think? Yeah, just 2. Possibly 3. The other guy thought of 3. All right, Gardner refers to these talents or abilities as intelligences because they can be quite different from one another. In addition, he proposes that the different intelligence are independent of each other. So an example of this, one student might have a strong scientific ability, but little talent in music. So some of you might be very smart in math, but other of you, and you might not be good at music, and some might be good at music, and others might not be good at math. You can't be good at everything. For me, I'm not a math guy, but I like music and art and history. But my wife, she's really good at math, but she can't do music or art or history. So we're kind of the opposite. All right, so in 1985, psychologist Robert Sternberg published the triadic theory of intelligence. And this theory breaks intelligence into 3 factors: triadic, so like a triangle, analytical, creative, that's definitely me, and practical intelligence. All right, I probably have creative, practical. Practical, another word for practical would be like street smarts. Some people might excel in schoolwork, but other people might be more creative, and that's where that practical intelligence, that street smarts intelligence comes in. Practical intelligence includes abilities such as knowing how to discuss a grade with a teacher or what to do if you discover that you have lost your wallet. Um, but some students with limited analytical skills do very well in school, and afterward they become um, and afterward because they are creative or have street smarts. All right, moving on. We often use more than one of Steinberg's three factors at the same time. So, with all these theories, I think I'm going with this one the most. In my opinion, this one makes the most sense to me. Instead of these 9 previous theories, I like this one. This one breaks it down pretty good. Do you analyze things like my wife does? Do you create Do you create things? Are you creative? Are you practical? I would say my wife, because I'm just thinking of the first person I know besides me. She's definitely analytical and practical. Um, I'm not analytical. I don't think I am. I'm more of creative and practical because I feel like I have street smarts. I got common sense, if you will. And I'm also creative. I like to create things, whether it's art, whether it's doing a new skateboard trick or surfing. I'm creative. I like to create things. I like to make things out of I like to make things like out of wood. I like to draw. That's creative. That's doing things creative. All right. Um, moving on. Let's see here. So this is another theory that gained popularity in 1995. Um, and this one involves 5 factors. Let's see: self-awareness, mood management, self-motivation, impulse control, and people skills. So this one's a pretty good theory too. Self-awareness, the ability to recognize our own feelings. And if we know how we feel, we can better cope with our feelings, I guess. I think that's pretty hard. Mood management, the ability to distract oneself from an uncomfortable feeling. I can do that when I'm angry or something. Um, I'll go skateboarding or I'll go for a run. That's my mood management. I can tell when I'm moody. Self motivation. Oh, yeah, I definitely got that. The ability to move ahead with confidence and enthusiasm. I feel like I'm pretty motivated. Impulse control. The ability to delay pleasure until the task at hand has been accomplished. Um, people skills. The ability to empathize, understand, and communicate and to cooperate with others. All right, so a class clown might have exceptional people skills. That's a pretty good example there, and that would be people skills, ability to empathize, understand, and communicate. According to this new theory, such people could be considered emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence captures the interest of many psychologists that led to new research on the subject. So I think this theory is pretty good. And that ends your lesson today. Um, Thanks for listening. Hopefully, it wasn't too long. Peace out.